Without further ado, I will introduce someone who really knows what they're talking about, which is Martha Lane Fox. Appointed as the government's digital champion in 2009, I think we're looking to you to help us find the solution to the problem we have within our social stock. Thank you.
And thanks for coming in. Thank you very much to George for all his energy in helping us at Race Online 2012 pull this together, and all the other people whose photos are looking very snazzy in the brochure, and you can do an identikit around the room of all the people that have contributed. It's made my life a lot easier to have lots of other people working very hard on this problem, because as you may or may not know, I raised a crazy challenge to the country to encourage as many people online as possible by the Olympics. You may think, well, why on earth did I do that? Because I have enough trouble standing up, let alone trying to help what at that point was over 9 million people who used the web. But for me, and for many people here who worked in this area for much longer than the 3 years I've been involved, 2-3 years I've been involved, it really is a question of social justice. You know, the amount of things that happen online nowadays are quite extraordinary. And what I find interesting is when you have to make the case to somebody about why digital skills are so vital while they're playing on their iPhone or while they're sitting at a computer, and you only need to say to them, imagine taking away all of that access that you have for even just one day. And I think it's very easy to see that the world would be a very different, much less rich and colourful place. You know, and I'm sure, again, in this economic environment, you might be thinking, well, we've got so many other priorities right now in our housing associations and in this sector. It's not as though the climate is particularly clement for any kind of change or new initiative. But again, I would argue that's why it's absolutely vital that right now we put this to the top of our priority lists. And that's as true as if you're a social housing provider or if you're the CEO of a big organisation. And I say that because, as Jake was intimating, the benefits are manifest to the individual. You save money when you're online, a fact. Helen, who will speak after me, has done some excellent work showing the amounts of money that people save when they're on the internet. And it's significant. Even in the poorest households, a huge amount of money can be saved. Secondly, you'll get better results if you're in education. Thirdly, you're more likely to find a job. But also, crucially for me, you will feel more confident and you'll feel less vulnerable. And again, it's not just me making that up. That's what the stats show, and that's what the hundreds of people that I've now had the privilege to meet around the country have told me. So we need to fight now more than ever to give people all the empowerment that we can, because it's not a very easy environment in which to operate, particularly if you fall into the lowest income households. So for the individual, as you can tell, I feel very, very deeply that this is something that we can, at very little cost, give to people to help empower their lives. But for you as organisations, it's as true as well. Again, no big prizes for pointing out that digital channels are cheaper. I did a report for government about how government uses the web, and I was making the case that it is absolutely vital that government flips the switch from justifying why something needs to be online to justifying why it should be offline. That's where the digital default language came from. And I'm delighted that government has embraced wholeheartedly this notion that we shouldn't have to be battling to say we need to do things online and we need to do it well and we need to put the user at the heart of it. Actually, we should be the other way around. We should be battling to say why we should still do it by paper and by other mechanisms. So government is moving a long way. We can't let them win in the race of all of this stuff. So what I would really urge you to do is use the tools that are already out there. Yes, it is going to cost some money, but lots of things are available at no cost and are on hand to help with this journey. There are 2 or 3 big things we've been doing at Race Online 2012 to help in this journey. The first is we've been building a database of champions, people who are either kind of informal or formal volunteers and want to help. And on Twitter this morning, when I said I was coming, or this brilliant little document was launched, I had immediately somebody find me who said, I'm a volunteer, I work for a housing association, and I can't help with what I'm trying to help with because no one will give me the admin password. Something very small, very simple. And he said, I could have got another 150 people online this weekend, but no one will open up the admin password to me. You know, that is something that is quite criminal. So there are lots of people out there willing to help, and we know a huge number of them, but we need your help in being able to unlock their skills. So the Digital Champions is one very strong asset that I hope we've created and that many of our organisations have helped to build. The second thing is a toolkit for what we're calling Go On Places. I've been in Liverpool a lot in the last month. Liverpool Council and Liverpool Vision have put out the very ballsy aim to encourage the 100,000 people out of their city of 400,000 online in the next 2 or 3 years. And they have built up a huge network of both places and people and ideas to help encourage people online. And they are going to be a big initiative around digital inclusion. And so the lessons that we're learning from Liverpool and from the other places that we've been working on, we've created a little toolkit. So if you're just even one small area or one small housing association, or if you have hundreds of different areas, you can use our toolkits to see what kind of things you need in order to encourage more people that you work with or that you house to use the internet. And you'll find all of those resources on our Race Online 2012 and Go On UK sites. And so I'd urge you to look at them because they're there, they're free, they're available, and they are a good starting point. To me, and I know it's not just about this, but one very simple first step is just to show people how brilliant the web is. That's something that I personally have chosen really to try and focus on. You know, of course you need support, you need cheap packages, you need to help people, but that first step is something that I feel is perhaps the easiest to crack. I did it with my not at all socially excluded father. He's an academic, but he'd never really used the internet properly, and I sat down with him with a BBC camera crew filming us at the same time, so not a typical situation. And suddenly I could see that light bulb go on in his brain. He could see all the flowers that he loved on the internet. He's a gardener. He could see all of his books, crucially, and how many had been sold online. There's always something, but it took me knowing him to be able to unlock what that something was. So if nothing else, your residents will be able to help other residents, and you will be able to help the people that you work with. And that, I think, is something that could be open to anybody and everybody, that first piece of inspiration and benefit. So Race Online 2012 is here to help. There's some tools and some ideas that you could have as soon as you walk out of this room to get going. I believe right now is absolutely the time we need to be doing it because everyone is a winner. The individual clearly benefits. The associations you're involved with will benefit too, as more digital engagement means more engagement firstly, but also cheaper engagement. And I can't think of an initiative that could be better suited to the economic climate. So I think we have a real shot at doing something remarkable in the UK. There are lots of countries that have good engagement with the internet, but not very many that have it at the high penetration levels of kind of TV or telephone. And how spectacular would that be? Think if we did really create a network nation where no one was left behind because of how much money they had in their bank account or where they lived. That's something that I think is worth sort of jumping out of bed for to try and make happen. So I encourage you to think about it as well. There aren't a lot of levers we can pull right now, but that is one of them, and I would really ask for your help in doing so. So thank you very much.